Listen to me. 2026 will not reward the ones who work the hardest. It will reward those who think the smartest, those who dare to question the old rules, those who stop chasing the illusion of control and start mastering their mindset. The game is changing fast, and if your mindset stays stuck in 2025, you'll be invisible in 2026, because the world is no longer moved by effort alone, it's moved by energy, adaptability, and clarity of purpose. For years, we've been told that success is about grinding harder, sleeping less, and doing more. But that's the biggest lie of the modern era. The winners of 2026 are not the ones who burn out chasing everything. They're the ones who slow down, focus deeply, and align every move with meaning. They don't wake up asking, "What do I need to do today?" They wake up asking, "Who do I need to become today?" Because when your identity grows, your results follow. I remember meeting an entrepreneur who was working 18 hours a day. He had the numbers, the clients, the attention, but he had no peace. One day he told me, "I feel like I'm running towards success, but further away from myself." That's when he made the shift. He stopped chasing everything and started building clarity. Within 6 months, his business doubled, not because he worked more, but because he thought differently. That's the 2026 mindset shift: less speed, more direction. In 2026, intelligence is no longer about what you know. It's about how fast you can unlearn. The world will change its rules overnight. Our markets, leadership, even relationships, everything will evolve faster than your comfort zone. And if you're afraid of change, you'll be replaced by someone who isn't. That's why mental agility is your greatest weapon. When everyone else is panicking, you adapt. When they hesitate, you move. You stop seeing uncertainty as a threat and start seeing it as your training ground. Think of resilience like a muscle. Every failure, every rejection, every moment of doubt, they're not signs to stop, they're signals to grow stronger. The people who thrive in 2026 will not be the ones who avoid struggle, they'll be the ones who use it. Because success doesn't belong to those who never fall. It belongs to those who refuse to stay down. Every obstacle you face is preparing you to handle the level of success you've been asking for. This is the year to build that unshakable inner core, the kind that doesn't break when plans fail, when people doubt you, when results take longer than expected. You don't need everything to go right. You just need to be the kind of person who stays right even when everything goes wrong. That's the 2026 mindset shift that will change everything. From how you think, to how you live, to how you win. The power of redefining success in 2026, from hustle to purpose, is not just an idea, it's a revolution in the way we think, act, and measure our lives. For too long, we've been trained to believe that success is a race, a never-ending sprint toward more money, more recognition, more everything. But 2026 is exposing the truth. The old definition of success is broken. The world is changing faster than ever before, and those who continue to chase the outdated model of hustle will burn out, while those who shift toward purpose will rise above the noise. Because the truth is, hustle alone doesn't build greatness. Alignment does. You can run faster, but if you're running in the wrong direction, speed only gets you lost quicker. Success in this new era is no longer measured by how much you can do, but by how much of what you do actually matters. The people who will lead in 2026 are the ones who no longer confuse being busy with being effective. They've learned that exhaustion is not a badge of honor, it's a warning sign. They've learned that working endlessly doesn't make you successful. It makes you replaceable. What makes you unstoppable is clarity, knowing exactly why you do what you do. Because purpose is power. Purpose is energy. Purpose is what keeps you moving long after motivation fades. Think about the people who inspire you most, the ones who seem to radiate confidence and direction. It's not that they work more hours than you. It's that their work is connected to something bigger than themselves. They've found the intersection between what they're good at, what they love, and what impacts others. That's the new definition of success, doing meaningful work that sets your soul on fire and leaves a mark on the world around you. Because when you operate from purpose, everything you do carries weight. Every action has direction. Every setback has meaning. The hustle culture taught us to measure success by outcomes, numbers, titles, possessions. But purpose teaches us to measure it by alignment, by how closely our daily actions reflect our deepest values. And that shift changes everything. When you work from hustle, you chase results. When you work from purpose, you attract them, because purpose creates consistency, and consistency builds mastery. Hustle drains your energy, purpose multiplies it. The moment you start doing what truly aligns with who you are, your work no longer feels like a struggle. It becomes an expression of your identity. I once met a young executive who was constantly exhausted. She was climbing fast, making big money, but she felt empty inside. Her words hit me hard. I'm living someone else's definition of success. She had been taught that success meant constant movement, more meetings, more projects, more hours. But no one had told her that success without purpose feels like failure in disguise. When she finally took a step back and asked herself, what actually matters to me? Everything changed. She left a high-paying job, started a small business built on her passion, and found a peace she had never known. Within 2 years, her impact and income had both grown beyond what she ever achieved in corporate life. Not because she worked harder, but because she finally worked for something real. This is the transformation waiting for anyone who dares to redefine success in 2026. It's about choosing intention over intensity. It's about focusing not on doing more, but on doing what matters most. And it requires courage. The courage to say no to distractions, to detach from the opinions of others, and to stop living for validation. Because the old world rewarded those who conform, the new world rewards those who create. The new leaders of 2026 will be those who lead from authenticity, not from exhaustion. We live in a time where technology can replace almost any task, but it can never replace purpose. Machines can automate work, but only humans can inject meaning into it. And that's why in 2026, purpose will be your greatest advantage. It's what gives your work emotion, your voice power, and your life direction. When you live from purpose, you no longer chase opportunities. Opportunities chase you. The right people, the right projects, the right timing, they all align when you align internally. This shift from hustle to purpose is not about slowing down. It's about speeding up in the right direction. It's about realizing that peace and progress are not opposites, they're partners. When you know why you're running, every step becomes powerful. When you're guided by purpose, even your challenges serve you. You stop asking, how can I do more? And start asking, how can I make it matter? That's when you step out of the noise and into your destiny. Because the most successful people in 2026 won't just be those who achieve the most. They'll be those who inspire the most, impact the most, and live with the deepest sense of meaning. And that's the real power of redefining success. It's not just about changing what you do. It's about changing who you become while doing it. Mindset is the ultimate currency in an unpredictable world, and 2026 will prove it beyond any doubt. The world is moving at a speed where skills, strategies, and even industries can become obsolete overnight. What used to take a decade to change now transforms in a matter of months. But there's one thing that will always hold value: the way you think. Because when the world shifts, only those with a flexible, growth-driven mindset will know how to adapt, evolve, and win. Money, knowledge, and status can all fade, but mindset, the ability to see beyond chaos and create clarity, is the one currency that appreciates with time. Everything you experience in life, from your failures to your victories, starts in your mind. If your mindset is weak, even opportunities will feel like burdens. But when your mindset is strong, even challenges become stepping stones. The truth is, your thoughts dictate your reality. Two people can face the same problem. One breaks under it, the other builds something out of it. The difference isn't luck, it's mindset. One sees an obstacle, the other sees a lesson. One reacts to fear, the other responds with faith, and that difference creates entirely different futures. In 2026, success will no longer depend on what you know, but on how fast you can think differently. The future belongs to those who don't panic when the rules change, but instead rewrite their own. Look at the great innovators. They don't wait for certainty, they move in spite of uncertainty. They understand that mindset is not about ignoring reality, but mastering it. It's about saying, even if I can't control the storm, I can control my sail. That's the power of mental flexibility. It allows you to stay centered when everything around you is shifting. There's a story of a man who lost everything when his company collapsed. Instead of drowning in regret, he spent weeks studying what went wrong. He realized that while he couldn't predict the economy, he could always improve his decision-making. He rebuilt stronger than before, not because the world became easier, but because he became wiser. That's what happens when you treat mindset like a skill. You train it, strengthen it, and expand it until uncertainty no longer scares you. Most people in 2026 will be searching for shortcuts, new tools, faster hacks, easier wins. But those with the right mindset won't chase trends, they'll create them. Because they understand that their mind is their most powerful asset, the factory where every dream, idea, and solution is born. When your mindset grows, your world expands with it. Every time you stretch your perspective, you increase your capacity to handle success. You become adaptable, unbreakable, and unstoppable. That's why mindset is the ultimate currency, because no matter how much the world changes, those who master their mind will always find a way to rise, adapting faster than fear. That's the mindset that will define 2026. The world no longer rewards those who wait for the perfect moment. It rewards those who move while others hesitate. Fear has always been part of the human experience, but the difference between the successful and the stuck is how quickly they act despite it. Fear whispers, wait until you're ready. But in 2026, waiting means losing. The future belongs to those who take bold steps before they feel prepared, those who understand that action kills anxiety faster than overthinking ever could, because in a time of rapid change, hesitation is the most expensive mistake you can make. Fear disguises itself as logic. It tells you to gather more information, to plan more, to make sure everything is perfect. But behind that perfectionism is paralysis. The people who will thrive in this new era know that progress doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from moving forward even when you don't. Adaptation is not about reacting to change, it's about anticipating it, embracing it, and using it to grow. The faster you adapt, the less fear controls you. The slower you adapt, the more fear becomes your master. I once met a startup founder who faced a massive crisis when his biggest client suddenly pulled out. Everyone around him panicked. Instead of freezing, he called his team and said, "This isn't the end. It's the beginning of our reinvention." Within weeks, they pivoted, launched a new service, and ended up tripling their client base. That's the difference between reacting with fear and responding with adaptability. He didn't wait for the situation to calm down. He created calm by taking control. He didn't eliminate fear. He moved faster than it. Fear loses its power the moment you stop running from it and start running with it. The truth is, fear can be fuel if you know how to use it. Every time you step into discomfort, you expand your range of courage. Every time you face what scares you, your confidence multiplies. People think bravery means not feeling fear, but real bravery is acting in spite of it. You don't need to be fearless to adapt. You just need to be faster than your fear's excuses. In 2026, change will not wait for your comfort. It will test your flexibility, your patience, and your belief in yourself. But those who adapt quickly will not just survive, they will dominate. because they understand that growth begins where certainty ends. The faster you adapt, the faster you turn uncertainty into opportunity. Every challenge, every disruption, every unexpected turn becomes a classroom where you evolve. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this teaching me?" That question alone shifts everything, because when you adapt faster than fear, you stop being a victim of change, and you become the creator of your future. Building mental resilience as the foundation of unstoppable growth is the single most important skill you can develop in 2026. The world will keep testing you. Through failures, rejections, disappointments, and delays, it's not a matter of if, but when. And when those moments come, your success will not depend on your intelligence, your connections, or even your talent. It will depend on one thing: your ability to get back up stronger than you were before. Mental resilience is the muscle that separates the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the achievers, and the temporary winners from the lasting legends. Without it, talent crumbles under pressure. With it, ordinary people achieve extraordinary things. Resilience isn't about pretending that pain doesn't hurt or acting like failure doesn't sting. It's about developing the inner strength to face what hurts without losing who you are in the process. It's about staying calm when the world around you is shaking, about learning to bend without breaking. Life doesn't promise easy paths, it promises lessons. Every setback you face is designed to refine you, not define you. Every disappointment carries a message. It's either protecting you from something that wasn't meant for you or preparing you for something greater. The people who truly grow in 2026 will be those who no longer resist struggle but use it as their teacher. Imagine your mindset as a tree. When the wind blows, weak trees fall, but strong ones bend. The roots, your beliefs, your discipline, your sense of purpose determine whether you stand tall or collapse. You can't control the storm, but you can control how deep your roots go. The deeper your roots of resilience, the higher you can rise. That's the paradox of growth. The more pain you can endure without losing hope, the stronger your foundation becomes. Resilience is built in silence, in moments when no one is watching, in the nights you choose to keep going even when your mind says stop. I once coached an athlete who suffered a career-threatening injury just before the biggest competition of his life. Doctors told him he might never compete again. For weeks, he battled anger, frustration, and self-doubt. But then he made a decision. He would train his mind as hard as he once trained his body. Every morning, he visualized his recovery. Every day, he focused on small progress instead of what he'd lost. Months later, not only did he walk again, but he returned to competition, stronger, wiser, and more determined. He didn't win because his body healed faster than others. He won because his mind refused to give up. That's what resilience looks like: not avoiding pain, but transforming it into power. In a world that glorifies speed and perfection, resilience is your secret weapon. Because no matter how fast things move, life will always test your patience. There will be delays, detours, and failures that challenge your confidence. And in those moments, people who lack resilience will quit. But the resilient will pause, breathe, and continue. They understand that growth isn't always visible. Sometimes it happens underground, in the silence, in the struggle, in the moments of doubt. You might not see it yet, but every time you refuse to surrender, you're building the emotional armor that will carry you through future storms. Resilience also means mastering your self-talk. The conversations you have with yourself when things fall apart determine how quickly you'll rise again. Most people lose the battle in their mind long before they lose it in reality. They tell themselves, "This always happens to me," or "I can't handle this." But the resilient mind rewrites that story. "This is teaching me something," or "I've faced worse before." Words shape emotions, and emotions shape actions. If your inner dialogue is built on strength, your external results will eventually match it. The truth is, The people who seem unbreakable aren't born that way. They've just faced enough storms to learn that pain doesn't last forever, but quitting does. They've discovered that success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about outlasting it. Every time life knocks you down, you have a choice to stay down and surrender to fear, or stand up and step into faith. Each time you rise, you reinforce the belief that nothing can truly defeat you, and that belief becomes your greatest strength. In 2026, the most powerful individuals won't be the ones who never fall. They'll be the ones who never stay down. They'll be the ones who see struggle not as punishment, but as preparation. Because resilience doesn't make you invincible. It makes you unstoppable. It teaches you that setbacks are setups, that endings are beginnings in disguise, and that the road to greatness is paved with moments of doubt that you walk through anyway. When you master resilience, you don't just survive the storm. You learn to dance in the rain. You become a force that grows through what it goes through. And from that place of strength, nothing, no fear, no failure, no circumstance can hold you back from the growth you're destined for.